Well, if you follow me on Twitter, I know some of you guys do, you would know that I sent out a tweet earlier this evening that said that I'm going to be taking a brief hiatus. I said I probably wouldn't be doing videos until at least Saturday. But not to worry, because I have a lot of videos in the can. We actually filmed 3 today. So, we have the Raw recap, which covers Tuesday, which is the video you're seeing right now. We have, the BAFTA recap, which covers Wednesday. We have our Oscar predictions, which covers Thursday. Friday will be AJ's movie reviews. It looks like it's just going to be Pompeii and 3 Days to Kill. I don't know if we're going to get the Americanized version of The Wind Rises or not. Who knows? And then Saturday will be our Philip Seymour Hoffman tribute video that we filmed earlier today, and both of us are very proud of it. Very happy it went so well, especially the circumstances. Kind of broke down on camera a couple of times, but given the situation, if you guys know how I believe that Hoffman was one of the greatest actors of all time, you could probably understand. It's not been a very good day, to say the least, but I got 3 videos out, and they're all going to be coming up. Now, I got all those videos Saturday, and then Sunday is going to be the final romance-themed verses, and after that, it looks like Monday, I've got a lot of wrestling to do. I've got Impact, I've got SmackDown and NXT, and I have a recap of the Elimination Chamber, which I will be watching on Sunday night. And come Monday morning, I am getting the WWE Network, and even more so, I'm going to completely just throw myself out of everything and just sit back, relax, and watch some good old WCW. And I remember back in the day, some of the stuff I missed, like Super Brawl 2, which I never saw, the Great American Bash in 1991 I never saw, and a lot of the old school NWA pay-per-views I would like to remember, stuff like Capital Combat, stuff like that I never got to see back in the day. So, if I remember correctly, my first WCW pay-per-views were like Wrestle War 90, and that's the one I remember, and the first one I watched legitimately was Battle Bowl in 1991. So, yeah, I need to do some research on WCW. So, I'm just throwing that out there that you will not be seeing myself on this channel live, or live as in shooting a video that day, for the next week. And I've got some things I have to tend to. We'll just go with that. And I'm just going to leave it at that. Now, tomorrow, which is the video, since it's Tuesday, and it's like almost 11:30 on Monday night, tomorrow we're going to Barry Lyndon in Athens. So yeah, I got work, and then after work I'm going to Barry Lyndon in Athens with AJ. And Wednesday I don't have work, I actually have the day off, so I might catch up on things. If I feel up to it, I may shoot you guys out an NXT video. I don't know, it just kind of depends, and just do a SmackDown by itself. I might do that, I don't know, since officially next week when NXT goes on the network, I will have to probably recap it differently, because obviously I probably won't have an option on Hulu anymore once it goes to the network, so we'll have to cross that bridge when we get to it. Thursday I actually work. I work in the morning until like 6. Got to build my digitals and everything, and then of course Thursday night we're watching 3 Days to Kill. I'll watch Impact Thursday night, hopefully get a recap up sometime in the next several days after that. Friday, watch Pompeii, come back here, shoot a video for it, shoot the new verses, and we should be good to go. So yeah, like I said, you won't be seeing me. You'll see videos every day. I promise that. There will not be a day you will not get content, but it's all videos that we filmed on Monday night, or Monday afternoon in this case. So yeah, I'm taking a break. I'm not. Obviously, you're still getting videos, so I'm still keeping up my content. Every day you get a video, and you will get a video, but I'm kind of taking a break. And yeah, I'm not going into it. Especially not here. let's talk Raw, because I want to, I just want to put my most I possibly can in this last video before I go on a hiatus until next week. Because all the videos that are coming in the next few days are already filmed, so you already got that. And I'll apologize, like I said, I broke down in the Hoffman video as to be expected. I kind of look like this in almost all the videos. I've not really cared, to be totally honest. The Hoffman video took a whole lot out of me. It's an hour and a half long, actually a little bit about an hour 31, hour 32. So it took a whole lot out of me, and I'm not the jovial self I usually am, and I'm not going to be that way in this video either. So I'm just going to throw that out to you. You're not getting Happy Jovial Owen tonight. You're getting rather somber Owen. So I'm going to try my best to get you guys a decent Raw recap, and we'll just leave it at that. Let me get started. I might just have a little bit of a pomegranate lemonade here. Alright, so John Cena comes out, of course. He says it's all about momentum, something which Randy Orton has none of right now. Everyone in the Elimination Chamber, save Randy Orton, has said momentum. Basically, odds are proving that we're going to see a new WWE World Heavyweight Champion crowned at Elimination Chamber on Sunday. This prompts Cesaro to come out. He says he's going to become the new face of the WWE. Now, scratch that. He's going to become the new face of America. Cena asks him to get in the ring and face him man-to-man so he can talk to him face-to-face, obviously. Says Randy Orton's on a losing streak. It's not that you're on a winning streak, you just simply got lucky. Don't write checks your body can't cash. Here brings out Sheamus. Excuse me. Elimination Chamber, he's going to kick Cena and Cesaro's teeth in. Here comes Christian. Immediately he goes into the fact that he blames Sheamus for the loss on SmackDown against The Shield. And he takes it in stride, but basically says, at Elimination Chamber, he's going to pretty much kill switch Sheamus. Randy Orton comes out finally and says he won't estimate Cesaro ever again. Cena, you may have won, but it's been proven you can't beat me when it really counts. Christian, we've had some great matches, but when it's all said and done, you just simply can't beat me. And Sheamus, you can throw your brogue, but it's not going to get even close. Here comes Daniel Bryan, wearing the brand new Yes Movement t-shirt that soon will be in my possession. These people are doing my talking for me. Obviously, they just want to chant yes. Elimination Chamber leads to WrestleMania, and the whole arena will be chanting yes, and they will. So Kane comes out, and he says he's going to rectify some mistakes that he's made. So what's best for business? Put him in charge tonight. So he's made some matches. Later tonight, we're going to get John Cena and Cesaro. Something I immediately jumped at. I was like, this is going to be awesome. And Daniel Bryan against Christian. And Kane's going to stay at ringside because that match is up next. Now, like I said, I normally talk about the match from like the midpoint, and I'm going to. But I'll mention right away, we had a very aggressive Christian just jump Bryan before the bell and just like try to injure his arm. So that being said, let's go into the match. So, 4 European uppercuts by Bryan. Knocks Christian so loopy, he basically gets knocked to the floor. He charges in, he gets stopped by Christian's uppercut, because of course Christian throws regular uppercuts, and Bryan throws Aberdeen uppercuts in this case, I guess. Christian locks on a modified Fujiwara armbar, and basically gets transitioned into an armbar of a normalcy. Set into the ropes, shoulder block, sends Bryan down, makes a cover 1 count only. So he yanks the arm over the top rope, which he's already damaged the arm before I started calling the match. So, backhammer slam, and backhammer yet again, and Bryan elbows his way out with his free hand in this case, comes off the ropes, Christian mows him over with a back elbow, 1-2, Bryan kicks out. Christian goes to take the advantage, gets countered into a Lance Storm-style half Boston Crab. Christian rolls through and gets on the middle turnbuckle and goes for the Tornado DDT, but instead of using a normal Tornado DDT, he does a single-arm DDT from the swinging position. Like a single-arm DDT. Makes a cover 1-2 and a kick out. He repeatedly headbutts, falling style, the arm, and continuing to work on Bryan's shoulder and arm at this point. So he charges in, he gets tossed over the top rope. Bryan hits the tope, but the thing about it is he collides with the barricade, and he goes shoulder first into the barricade. So we come back to live action from commercial, and there's an armbar. Bryan punches his way out, whip in, backflip, lands on his feet, ducks the clothesline, comes off the ropes, hooking clothesline, and then he goes to the yes kicks. He goes for the buzzsaw on Christian, and Christian actually gets nailed with it. 1-2, Christian kicks out. So he goes up top, going for the swan dive headbutt, and Christian gets both knees up. 1-2, and a kick out. So he misses the charge. Bryan goes chest first into the buckle. But he counters again, and he nails the charging dropkick in the corner. And he goes for a second time. Christian gets the boot up, and he nails the middle rope elbow on Bryan. Christian tries to finish Bryan off. Bryan goes for the yes lock, gets countered. Christian ends up getting caught with the yes kicks, and he ducks the buzzsaw this time. He sends him shoulder first in the ring post. He goes for the kill switch. Bryan counters into basically a rolling prawn hold without the bridge, and gets the pin. Like basically, if you were curious how it is, it's both feet are under the armpits, and he did a back bend on it, and he basically kept Christian down for the 3. It was really good. So Kane congratulates him on his victory, of course, haphazardly, because of course he's not being sincere. Why would he be? But he says that, Bryan, your night's not over yet. Now you're going to face me in the ring. So Corporate Kane and his wife beater come out, and that doesn't happen until we get back to live action. He whips him in, goes shoulder first in the ring post, short arm, shoulder, and he yanks the arm to the canvas. He just steps on the throat. So Bryan goes for a neck snap. It gets countered this time, and he tries to suplex him back in the hard way. 1-2, again, Bryan kicks out. So punches repeatedly to the arm. So he does the backhammer and sends him into the turnbuckle, like the middle buckle and the top turnbuckle on 2 separate occasions. Kane with 3 forearms. Don't recall me seeing forearms from Kane in the past. Bryan counters with a neck snap. He goes up top, missile drop kick, the yes kicks, the buzzsaw is countered with the goozle. Going for the choke slam, but no, he changes his mind and basically just uses his momentum to toss Bryan to the floor. He sends him in the barricade shoulder first. He puts him back in the ring. He ties his arm around the ring post. And, of course, it's quite ironic that Kane doesn't break at 5, because Bryan used to do the shtick in Ring of Honor, I've got 5. So, yeah, the referee just disqualifies Kane. He doesn't care at this point. He got DQ'd. He yanks the arm back against the ring post, and he takes the arm, and he, like, bends it back. So, like, the elbow is actually pointing upwards, and it's, like, kind of, it's a weird camera angle because it's just an awkward thing to talk about. So he kicks the steps, and that like pretty much hurts Bryan. And now Bryan gets to be another Brian Pillman later on in the night, because he's got the War Games style shoulder wrap. When Pillman went in, he was injured, and of course he had those matches with Barry Windham and the powerbomb from Sid, which dropped him right on top of his head. So yeah, we've got that. That's what I'm thinking right now. Another promo from the Shield. Roman Reigns is about to talk. Dean Ambrose interrupts him. He basically says that he softened him up. Like, you can do better. Roman Reigns says, I know I can do better. Rollins, of course, continues to play peacemaker. Says, everyone's on the same page. Don't get it twisted. The Shield are born and bred for war. The Shield is real. The Wyatts are an illusion. We don't experience fear, and we don't back down. Believe that. Believe in the Shield. So, Shield are prepared for war against the Wyatt family this Sunday at Elimination Chamber. So we get another match. Fandango with the gorgeous Summer Rae taking on Santino Marella with the cute and just adorable Emma, who I like very much. Nice video package from WWE on Emma. Basically, Michael Cole was talking about her past and brought up like some of her likes and dislikes, stuff like that. It felt like a magazine interview without someone being there. It was a nice package, and a lot of her NXT highlights were shown. we saw the Emma Sandwich and the Emma Lock and, of course, the Emma Dance, and the whole thing was set to the Emma theme, which I still can't get out of my head. Good mood or bad mood, I still can't get that song out of my head. I almost want to make it my ringtone just to throw people off. Not right now, though. So we go midway through this very, very short match, and Fandango goes for a middle rope knee drop. He misses Santino with the one-arm ace crusher, and of course, he split ducks the clothesline, and he nails the hip toss, the falling headbutt. He goes for the Cobra, pulls it out, and Summer Rae gets on the ring apron. Emma picks her up off the ring apron, does an airplane spin, and basically drops her. This has Santino distracted, and Santino goes to the floor, kind of stops Emma from being dizzy. They have googly eyes toward each other, and they look like they're about to kiss. Before that happens, Fandango hits a baseball slide drop kick on Santino, which stops everything dead in its tracks. Tosses Santino back in the ring. He nails a vicious Falcon Arrow and gets the 3. We're building towards a relationship between Santino and Emma. I don't know about this. I don't know about this at all. I don't mind this feud because I know it's going to lead to mixed tag matches. I don't know why they haven't even started on... I know why they didn't start over the weekend, because AJ was given the weekend off. So Summer Rae had to team with Tamina against the Bellas, but now I'd say you would probably start doing these mixed tag matches to get ready. And I don't know if this match will go to Mania. I mean, I highly doubt it, but I mean, stranger things have happened. I mean, Fandango did debut last year at WrestleMania beating Chris Jericho. Santino's had Mania moments, and it was really cool to see Emma and Summer Rae on the big stage of them all. I'm just happy Fandango didn't job again. It's because obviously I'm a fan, so yeah, there's always that. I don't know where you go from here. I'm still saying he's going to be a singles champion, but it's going to be a while. They're showing a little bit more faith in him, which is good, because that's what needs to happen. Mark Henry's interviewed, and basically he's prepared. He's now prepared for Roman Reigns. And we get this match. It's Roman Reigns against Mark Henry. Let's talk about this match. Henry with a big boot, charging Avalanche in the corner, and Reigns is pretty much dead in the water at this point. But he gets up to his feet, he gets head-butted, but he boots Henry in the midsection, locks on a weird modified chin lock, like a standing chin lock. Henry elbows out, ducks the right hand, and catches Mark Henry off with a Samoan drop from the standing position, not off the ropes, from the standing position. He deadlifted him. 1-2, Mark Henry kicks out. So Henry the headbutt, and then he gets on all fours as the JYD style headbutts. And the Avalanche whip in, charges in, catches the boot, literally catches the boot, and Reigns uses his power to kick off Mark Henry. He readies it, and he throws the Kryptonian crash, which is the Superman punch at Mark Henry, and lays him out, spears him out of his boots in 1, 2, 3. So Ambrose, after the match is over, he starts putting the boots to Henry and kicks him out of the ring. Roman pretty much asks him, "What are you doing?" And of course, Dean just looks at him and smirks, because that's just what he does. We get a wide interruption. And Bray ends up singing, "I got the joy down in my heart." Really appropriate at this point, really creepily too. He says, "I cannot help but feel childlike excitement building up. Defeat will not come in vain. In the end, was all this worth it?" And Harper says, "Are you willing to die for it?" And Bray says, "Because if you're not, you've already lost." So Roman gets on the mic and says, "Well, why don't you talk that..." Basically, he's saying, "Why don't you just say that to my face?" is pretty much what he said. Funny you should say that. We were thinking the exact same thing. Another wide interruption. Before that, Rowan just simply says, "Run," wearing the sheep mask, of course. The Shield are in the ring. Wyatt's come out. Wyatt's get on the ring apron. Bray gets in the ring. Roman steps forward, like he's basically daring him to cross the line. Harper and Rowan get in. All 6 men are facing off, and the Wyatts leave. Again, playing more mind games with the Shield. It's phenomenal every single time. I'm really excited about this match. So Cody and Goldust are playing with toys. And basically, Cody said he's the builder and won't let Goldust play. Yeah, I can't believe I'm talking about this. Wade Barrett comes in and says he has some bad news, and he pretty much kicks over the toys like he is a bully kicking sand in a scrawny kid's face. Yeah, I don't know why this happened. The next match, it's the number one contender, the Intercontinental Championship, Jack Swagger taking on Kofi Kingston. This match was interesting. I knew going in that Swagger had to win, given the fact that he's going into Elimination Chamber against Big E on Sunday, but I didn't know exactly how we were going to do it. I thought this would be good to do a squash, but it wasn't a squash. Let's talk about it. So Kofi goes for a tip-up. It gets caught into a wheelbarrow suplex, which actually worked. 1-2, and Kofi kicks out. Repeated shoulders to the back, and then eventually to the ribs, and a short arm clothesline, 1-2, and a kick out. Locks on the double chicken wing, and Kofi manages to find a way to punch his way out. Comes off the ropes. He goes for the slide through the legs, gets caught, and he gets tossed chest first into the buckle. Swagger bomb, 1-2, and a kick out. So he tosses him to the ropes, nails the kidney forearm, high velocity whip, and then the whip in, and Kofi springs off the middle rope, and the 180 flying body press. This time it's the 180 drop kick, and he charges in, and of course Kofi nails the upside down kick. He goes springboard with a clothesline, and the double chop, standing drop kick, comes off the ropes, and he goes for a sunset flip. It gets countered. He charges in, gets the boot up, and he goes up top, nails Shadows over Ghana. If you didn't know, it's Delirious is basically splashed to the back to someone in a hunched over position. And that only gets a 2 count. So he goes for SOS, which gets nailed rather awkwardly. 1-2, and Swagger gets his foot on the bottom rope. So he goes up top. Kofi nails the flying body press. 1-2, gets countered into the Patriot lock, and Kofi ends up tapping out. So win for Swagger, and he needed the win. He needed some momentum going into his match on Sunday. Obviously Big E Langston, or now Big E, is now being pushed. So, I mean, I was thinking there was a possibility Swagger could win on Sunday, but, you know, the more I think about it, the more that I know that's a dumb thing to believe. And Big E comes out after the match is over, gets in the face. So Big E's in a match next against Drew McIntyre and Jinder Mahal of 3MB. Drew's wearing trunks again. He's not wearing the long tights. Jinder looks bigger now. It looks like it's weird. Next to Drew, for some reason, Jinder looks a lot bigger. I don't know why. This match was a train wreck. So slam on Jinder. Comes off the ropes. Drew trips Big E. Oh, and coincidentally, at this time, you have Zeb Coulter at ringside. He's still got the mic, so he's talking, basically berating Big E the whole match. And the whole time he's saying, you can't do that to Swagger, and he looks at the crowd. He's like, do you think that he can do that to Jack Swagger? And he's like, of course the fans are chanting no, because that's what it works. Jinder with the boot in. They double whip him. Drew gets tossed over the top. Shoulder on Jinder, and 2 backbreakers, and he goes for a third, and he gets nailed by the running big boot from McIntyre. 1-2 and a kick out. So leaping knee, and Drew with a chin lock, and he punches his way out. Double suplex on Big E. McIntyre makes the cover, 1 count only. So boot to the face, whip in, Jinder goes for a high knee, and 1 count only this time. Big boot gets caught, Jinder misses, and clothesline, duck the clothesline, Magnum TA style belly-to-belly suplex. So, Drew, oh my god. This is bad, by the way. This spot move is bad. So Drew eats the same spot as well, so they stack 3MB up. He nails the big splash on both men. Charge shoulder, 1 corner to Drew, 1 shoulder to Jinder, and Drew's getting up, and he nails an overhead release belly-to-belly suplex on Jinder. And it looks like Drew was supposed to, like, catch Jinder, or there were so many things they could have done with this, but no. He inadvertently just kicked McIntyre right square in the head. Hits the big ending on Jinder, and ducks Drew's big boot, tilt-a-whirl into the big ending, 1, 2, 3, and yeah, I'm glad that match was over. Less said about it, the better. It just did not work at all. Big E needed a showcase, so hopefully on SmackDown he'll get that. Give him anybody at this point. Give him one-on-one against Heath Slater or something. Let him just squash him like a grape. Just do that. I like Heath Slater. I just think that there's a reason for everything, obviously. Since, of course, February is Black History Month, we get our, I believe, no, we have one more. We get one more big one, and this one, actually, of course, is all about Ron Simmons. And it's really nice to see that they're focusing on the WCW run of Ron Simmons and the fact that he legitimately was the first black World Heavyweight Champion, and something that pretty much gets glossed over all the time. They mentioned his jersey getting retired at Florida State University. And the only reason I know this is because Jim Ross drilled it in our heads back in the day during the build for Lex Luger and Ron Simmons at Halloween Havoc 1991. So, of course, they completely glazed over the Nation, and they glazed over Farouk Assad, the weird gladiator helmet he wore when he did that short time where Sonny was managing him. So, yeah, there's always that. And, of course, thankfully, when they talked about his Hall of Fame induction, he did mention he was the first African-American World Heavyweight Champion. So, that's something that's not mentioned. And it's another thing, too. It's funny because he shares that with Ron Killings, R-Truth. But, of course, it's not probably ever going to be mentioned that Truth was a world champion because he was the NWA World Heavyweight Champion. That was his time in TNA, so I'd probably never be mentioned. But Truth is a former world champion too, something people don't really realize. So that was an awesome vignette for Ron Simmons. And then we got to this match. Oh dear God, I've been wanting to see this for a while now, and I want to see more now that I've seen it. It's John Cena against Cesaro, and again, just like the brilliant match that Cesaro had with Randy Orton on SmackDown that I had an incredible time calling, this match was a trip, to say the least, and the crowd were completely into it. We got a "This is awesome" chant, of course, and the crowd's getting a little bit restless at this point. They're starting to chant for things that are not even there. They chant for Punk, chant for JBL. At least this time they didn't get it acknowledged by the announce team, so kudos to them for not acknowledging the crowd. And then when they don't get acknowledged, the chants kind of die out quicker. So if you don't acknowledge it, it goes away. So, yeah, that's something to look into, honestly. But we get this match, and this is midway through the match. Boot in the midsection, and Cesaro gets caught with a Hurricane Rana from Cena. He leaps on the shoulders, hits the Hurricane Rana. It looked nice. He goes for a crossbody, gets caught, and fall-away slam with a bridge, mind you. 1-2, and Cena kicks out. Whip in reverse, and he locks on the sleeper hold. So Cena puts him on his back and drops him into the corner. Of course, that breaks the hold. Cena gets caught with a big clothesline, 1-2, and a kick out. So he goes for the sleeper again. Cena again uses his strength to pick him up on his back, drop him into the buckle yet again. This time he ducks the clothesline and shoulder block, goes for the proto bomb, gets countered with a roll up, which gets stopped. He's going for the giant swing, and Cena counters the STF. Cesaro kicks him off, and deadlift into the gut wrench, 1-2, and Cena kicks out. So Cesaro goes to work with body shots in the corner, and he whips him in, and Swiss uppercut. Whip in, he goes for a charge, he misses, Cena this time connects with the proto bomb. 5-knuckle shuffle, goes for the AA, and he grabs the ropes. He breaks it. He pushes him off into the ropes, of course, throws him up in the air. Swiss death, and that's all she wrote. 1-2, and no, Cena kicks out. So he again goes for the giant swing, and it gets countered this time into a kind of a lackluster DDT, but still a decent counter for what it was. 1-2, and Cesaro kicks out. So he goes up top. Cesaro nails him with a Swiss uppercut, knocks Cena over the top to the floor. So Cena's on the ring apron, and Cesaro does his superplex from the apron back into the ring, and it always looks awesome. Cena kicks out. Gets countered, drop toe hold into the STF, and he breaks it. He drags him in the middle, and he gets kicked off. So Cesaro's finally in control. Goes for the giant swing. This time he hits it. He gets 15 rotations. 1-2, and again Cena kicks out. said it's all over. He sets up for the neutralizer. Neutralizer countered in the AA. And just like CM Punk did in their match, Cena goes for the AA, and Cesaro lands on his feet, nails Cena with a big boot, charges in, gets caught with a huge clothesline from Cena. He nails well, for me, from my vantage point, it looked like a side roll or like a modified Oklahoma roll into the AA, and 1, 2, 3, Cena wins, and what a phenomenal match between these two. I want to see these matches a lot more. Cesaro in the main event picture is something I've wanted for a long time. Now that it's a reality, I know it's going to work incredibly. And for those of you out there that think that because Cesaro lost to Cena, it's a step down, no, not at all. The fact that Cesaro hung with Cena the whole time and gave him the business from bell to bell, that's a huge feather in his cap, and you have to look at it at that and that only. The fact that Cena won doesn't mean that Cesaro necessarily lost, because he wins because he got the rub from working with John Cena, who, by all intents and purposes, is the main star in WWE, even though that Daniel Bryan, without any question, is the most over superstar. The company still wants to put John Cena at the helm of everything, and even though he's kind of a background player somewhat right now, you still have to think that Cena has his place. And the fact that Cesaro was able to do so much with Cena was just unbelievable, and the match was phenomenal. And for those of you that doubt John Cena's wrestling ability, just watch this match. Seriously, it's funny because the match at on Raw Monday that the fans didn't really like, Cena and Orton just changed for a while, and that was nice. So nice seeing that. And this match was excellent, so check it out. Like, Cesaro's match is phenomenal. I cannot wait for the match against Sami Zayn next Thursday night at NXT Arrival, because the first match was great. The 2 out of 3 falls match is one of the best matches I've seen in a long time. I'm so excited for the rubber match between the two and see what they do with it. It's going to be great. Now, if you would turn off the show after this, you didn't really miss much. You could have, like, fallen asleep and still, like, caught some things. The next match was Los Matadores and Sin Cara against the Wyatt family. Remember how I said on the SmackDown recap that I thought the Wyatts needed a 6-man to flourish? This match wasn't it. They looked fine. I just don't buy Los Matadores. I love Primo and Epico, I do, but I mean, still, I just don't buy the tag team of Los Matadores. And now that Mystico's gone from the company, I can call him Sin Cara now. The Unico version of Sin Cara is fine. It's just, it doesn't seem like they had any chemistry with the Wyatts at all. Let's talk about it. And kudos to Michael Cole, of course, as usual, and that's sarcasm for not mentioning who is Diego and who is Fernando in this match. They just basically just went on their merry way, talking about random things, and there's weird mentions of, like, the Pina Colada song at some point during this, so a lot of really dated references that most of your audience is not going to get. A gator roll, and a side headlock. Harper does it every week. He punches his way out, catches a jawbreaker, backdrop lands on his feet, enziguri kick, tagging to Sin Cara. Good, I can call this. Springboards off with a side headbutt. Springboard into a flying body press off the middle rope, 1 count only. Harper catches the satellite head scissors takeover, and Sin Cara knocks Bray off the ring apron. Whip in and catches Harper with his handspring back elbow. Yeah, that's a real handspring back elbow, Michael Cole, for your information. Rowan makes the save, and Rowan ends up getting sent to the floor. This is El Torito's spot. He goes for an Asai moonsault. He gets caught. He gets tossed back on the rope, and Harper drags Torito, and this complete craziness allows for Rowan to get nailed with stereotopes from Los Matadores, which didn't look the greatest. It was okay. I guess it just didn't work for me. Harper is distracted, rolled up by Sin Cara, 1-2, and a kick out, and he goes for the sit-out powerbomb, gets countered into a Rana, and backdrop, he lands on the ring apron, and the high kick, he goes up top for the Senton bomb, and he misses, he eats the lariat, and that's all she wrote. Tagging to Bray, Kiss of Death, Sister Abigail, 1, 2, 3. I really hope the Whites are able to showcase better in the match on SmackDown against somebody, anybody that can work with them. This was not the match. I like the Wyatts. I love the Wyatts. Obviously, I'm a big supporter, and Bray Wyatt is going to be huge, and I love Harper, and I'm slowly, but surely getting on Rowan's bandwagon, even though he's the weakest of the three. But that's not saying anything, because they're all great. I mean, if I had to pick a person that's the weakest, I'd say Rowan, but I mean, Rowan's still good in his own right. I like his Bane backbreaker that he hasn't used in forever, it seems like. So yeah, it was okay for what it was. I mean, nothing to write home about. And speaking of nothing to write home about, our semi-main was a singles match with Jey Uso and Badass Billy Gunn, with, of course, Jimmy and the Road Dogg on commentary, which I'm pretty sure they're going to face off on SmackDown. And it was officially announced tonight that they are going to be facing off for the WWE Tag Team Championships on Sunday at Elimination Chamber, which I truly believe the Outlaws retain against the Usos on Sunday, and the Outlaws drop the titles at WrestleMania. That's what I think is going to happen. I think the Usos get the WrestleMania moment by beating the Outlaws at WrestleMania for the WWE Tag Team Championships, and that's the right direction to go, honestly. So obviously you have to have the Usos get the singles wins, and then the Outlaws steal it underhandedly, because they are Outlaws after all. Like Road Dogg so eloquently put it on commentary on Raw. They're going to steal the win on the pay-per-view Sunday, so that's what I believe. Since it is the last official legitimate pay-per-view, since almost everybody and their mother's going to get the WWE Network as of Monday, at least most people I know. So, let's talk about this interesting match, shall we? Jey goes up top. He leapfrogs over Billy Gunn. Clothesline by Billy. Spins Jey like a top. 1-2 and a kick out. Makes another deep cover. 1-2 and a kick out. Chinlock. We have some commentary back and forth banner, of course. This allows for a boot in the midsection. Billy goes for the famouser. Duck in. Roll up. 1, 2, 3. That's it. Match over. Jimmy catches Road Dogg with a super kick on the floor. The Usos stand tall after they low bridge and the SSD, the Samoan Suicide Dive, on both Outlaws, and that's all she wrote. Once again, building towards the Usos winning the WWE Tag Team Championships at WrestleMania, not the Elimination Chamber at WrestleMania, and that's how it should be. So, we get our main event, a match that the New Jersey crowd, the night after WrestleMania, the infamous New Jersey crowd, completely turned on, and that's our main event tonight. It is the WWE World Heavyweight Champion, I still think that's redundant, Randy Orton taking on Sheamus, who has still not found his his niche yet since coming back from injury. I'll say that he's probably better off to turn heel at this point. I don't know. I mean, there looks like they were pushing. It's on the surface, it seemed like they were pushing Christian to be a heel tonight, but they really were saying more that not Christian's a heel. He's just more aggressive, and he's showing that he really wants to win the Elimination Chamber. It's not necessarily that he's doing like the bidding for the Authority or anything like that. He just wanted to win the match, and he was trying to do it by any means necessary. Excuse me. So we get this match, and yeah, it was Randy Orton and Sheamus, so it's nothing to write home about. It was okay. Chinlock, wisely, surprise, Randy Orton's got a chinlock on when we come back from our last commercial break on Raw. Sheamus elbows his way out, goes for a backdrop suplex on Orton, and he clotheslines him over the top rope to the floor. Sheamus sends Orton into the barricade on one side of the ring, and then on the opposite side of the ring. Whip in reverse, Sheamus goes chest first into the steps. He gets in at 9. Orton puts him on the buckle, headbutt, climbs up for the Orton Crest superplex, of course, and of course he punches his way off, and he gets knocked off, and Sheamus hits the battering ram. Orton goes to the floor to break momentum, and a boot in, and a backdrop suplex on the announce table, And the announce table didn't really break in half. Obviously, it's the WWE announce table, so obviously it doesn't break in half. It kind of just collapses, and that's what it did. He landed, and the table just kind of like, just gave way. So, it would have been a cool spot if it would have done it a little bit faster, or if the table would have just exploded, but no, it basically just fell over. It was okay. It got a chant from the crowd, so I mean, the crowd ate it up, and I guess that's what needed to be done at this point, because the crowd was kind of dying at this juncture. It was basically like they got brought up like to the stars with Cesaro and Cena, and after that, like everybody had to fight for crowd response after this match. So, and deservingly so, of course. Sheamus somehow makes it in at 10, of course. Orton goes for the Garvin Stomp, methodically trying to break Sheamus apart. Goes for his leaping knee drop, Sheamus out of the way. Axe handle. He charges in with his shoulder in the midsection in the corner. He goes for the high knee lift. Orton ducks and hits the Samoa Joe snap power slam, 1-2, and a kick out. Goes for the snake bite, backdrop, lands on the apron, does Orton, and he gets caught with the clubbing blows from Sheamus 10 times. He goes for the Finley roll, gets countered into the 3.0 backbreaker. Orton does hit the snake bite finally. He goes for the RKO, gets tossed off, and 3 Irish Curse backbreakers in succession. Sheamus sets up for the Brogue Kick, and the Shield hit the ring. Remember when I said on this channel a while ago that that Randy Orton was behind the Shield? Yeah, that pretty much, I can't say that proves it, but yeah, I have another argument now, to say the least. So the Shield jumps Sheamus. John Cena comes out. And then Daniel Bryan comes out, like I said, sporting the Brian Pillman shoulder tape. Cesaro comes out. Christian's out. Wide interruption, they're out. And they have a stare down with the Shield. Everyone else just pretty much just stands back and watches it. And right before the go home, the Shield and the Wyatt family just start going at it. They start brawling, something we've waited forever to see. And that's how we go home on the show. It just pretty much ends. Like, it ends while they're fighting, so it's like an every man for himself, all 12 men involved, just beating the daylights out of each other. And Michael Cole says in the comment, these are all the men of the Elimination Chamber. It'd be nice if that was the case, but unfortunately the Shield and the Wyatts are not in the Elimination Chamber. Even though, with what the match can be, I truly think that match should be in the Elimination Chamber. Since we don't have another world title we can put in there, might as well just do the Shield and the Wyatt family. So that's how we go home. On the Raw before Elimination Chamber, and the next Raw, of course, will be the first Raw after the Elimination Chamber, the first Raw after the launch of the WWE Network, the first Raw that will bring in the returns of Hulk Hogan and The Undertaker to start the build for WrestleMania. So a lot of craziness is going to happen next week on the WWE Network debut edition of Raw, which we're all really excited for. It'll be interesting to see what happens with that. I watch a lot of WCW all day, and then I get this, so it's going to be a really interesting day, to say the least. Talk about what we learned today. I'll say right now that opening segment was fine, but it's kind of redundant because it seems like it happens every time we have a multi-man match. Christian and Bryan wasn't bad. I like the new attitude for Christian. Not necessarily a heel turn, but more just thinking that he's being a little bit more aggressive to show that he really wants to win instead of just wants to perform. So there's always that. Kane trying to injure Bryan, it's even more believable in 2 ways. 1, if Bryan loses on Sunday, and 2, if Bryan wins on Sunday. Because if he loses on Sunday, we can say that Kane is the reason why he lost. And if Kane wouldn't have attacked him and abused his power, then Bryan probably would have walked out with the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. On the opposite side, if Bryan battles the odds and still wins with the injury, that's an even bigger story in its own right. And I hope if that happens, I hope if Bryan would win on Sunday, which I don't think will happen, I think that they really need to find a way to get that contendership off Batista, because I don't want to see Batista and Bryan. I mean, we have seen it before, but I mean, that was a while ago, and I don't want Batista to hurt Bryan. And that's pretty much the storyline we go with on that. So I think Orton retains on Sunday. I know that may not be a favorable opinion. I mean, they're not going to have the balls to put it on Cesaro, which would be incredible. I'd love to see... I would have no issues seeing Cesaro winning because I really want it to happen. Christian has no chance. He's going to be eliminated quick. Cena's not winning either because obviously he's got a little shine going into the match, so he's not going to win. I wouldn't be surprised to see Cesaro as one of the final 4, if not one of the final 3. I think it does come down to Orton, Bryan, Cena, and Cesaro. But I think that they're going to shock surprise and have Cesaro beat Cena. And that'll be a big pop, big put over, especially for everyone that wanted to see it happen tonight. That didn't happen. So I think it's going to happen in Elimination Chamber. And then Bryan eliminates Cesaro and Orton eliminates Bryan with potential Kane interference. Or Kane interference, I guess you would say. It's internet term that was used. So we can go with that. I like seeing Fandango on my television, obviously. I love seeing Summer Rae and I'm on my television. This angle is going slowly but surely, but it's building, and now there's a potential love interest between Santino and Emma. I don't know how that's going to work. Roman Reigns is a beast in every single way possible, and the Wyatts are chillingly evil, and I love every second of it. It's going to be really awesome to see this match on Sunday. We've been waiting forever to see the Wyatts and the Shield just tear into each other, and it's going to happen on Sunday, and we had a nice little preview of it tonight. That was good. A lot of people are saying that we're building towards Cody and Goldust at WrestleMania, and even though they're saying on Twitter, both men are saying on Twitter that it's not going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen either, but they're actually in the pre-show match against the Nexus Relocation Program, Curtis Axel and Ryback, so that's going to be the pre-show match for Elimination Chamber. I would have picked something else, actually. I really would have. Swagger wins against Kofi in an okay match. I will say that Swagger needed the win in order to even be believably challenging Big E for the Intercontinental Championship on Sunday. Big E has a really just out there match with Drew McIntyre and Jinder Mahal, and it just seemed like they just didn't click. The match just didn't work. It would have worked as 2 singles matches, but a 2-on-1, it just did not work for me. If you have not seen it and you did not see it tonight, then be my guest. Find any way you can to check out John Cena and Cesaro. Totally, I know it's February, but still, it's a match of the year candidate, to say the least, at this moment. The Wyatts squashed the Matadors and Sin Cara like a grape, and that's how it should have been. Just a lackluster match between Billy Gunn and Jey Uso, just basically leading towards the Usos losing on Sunday and winning at Mania. So Orton and Sheamus, they just put together kind of a plotting match, but the backdrop suplex through the announce table, it kind of worked. And the finish where the Shield came out, and then all hell broke loose with everybody in the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view main show just going at it. I mean, it was a great way to end the show. And it's going to be interesting to see what happens on SmackDown on Friday as our official go-home show before the Elimination Chamber, given the fact that it only gives us 48 hours before the pay-per-view. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens there. So, that being said, like I said, I appreciate everybody sticking with Pop, and a lot of really awesome things are still to come. Like I said, I apologize for my demeanor this week. It's just one of those things. It's just kind of something I had to deal with, so there's always that. I will say right now that when I come back, hopefully I'll be better than ever. That's what I'm hoping for, shooting for that. You'll hear me on Friday in the AJ's movie review, but you won't see me again, most likely, until next week. You'll have videos every single day, so don't worry about that. And real quick before we get off here, I'm going to run down the schedule. So, excuse me, my throat's killing me. It's been, like I said, this is the 4th video today, so my throat is, like, on fire at this point, and this horribly, badly out-of-date pomegranate lemonade is killing me. I think I know how Brad Jones feels now. I could use a Crystal Pepsi. So, excuse me. Today is Tuesday, and this is your Raw recap. This is your Tuesday video. Wednesday is going to be our BAFTA recap that we shot. Thursday is going to be the Oscar predictions. Friday will be AJ's movie reviews. Saturday will be the Philip Seymour Hoffman tribute. Sunday will be the new Versus, and somewhere in that group I'll have videos of Impact this week, NXT this week, SmackDown this week, and that'll take us into Elimination Chamber on Monday. I'll shoot it Sunday night, and also the debut of the WWE Network a week from tonight. So, well, officially, well, it's after midnight now, so I can't see tonight. A week from yesterday. So, that being said, like I said, I'll come back, and hopefully I'll be a little bit more rejuvenated, and I'll be a lot more jovial, a lot happier, and getting ready to continue into the WrestleMania season after Elimination Chamber. And of course we have Lockdown coming up as well, so there's a lot of stuff to look forward to. NXT Arrival next Thursday, very excited for that, so there's always that. You know, it's been a long day. It's been a long 3 videos, a very trying 3 videos, especially having to do a fitting tribute to one of my favorite actors earlier today, and not really getting much sleep, and I don't see that happening very much in the near future. So a lot on my mind, so I'm just going to end this video with saying, if you want to follow me on Twitter, you know how to do it. You want to send me an email, you know how to send it. If you want to be my friend on Facebook, I would appreciate it. And if you'd like to like our Facebook fan page, go right ahead. You know how to get it, and if not, and check previous videos. Until next week, I don't really have anything else to say. That's all I got to say about that.